Welcome to the Deep Dive. You've got a question, we find the intel simple as that.
Exact.
Today we're digging into John D. Rockefeller's team-building playbook. This one's for the learner who asked for quick, actionable insights.
And Rockefeller's career, well, it's vast, isn't it? So focusing just on team building across the different parts makes sense.
Right, we need that laser focus. So the plan is 7 stages of his career.
7 distinct phases.
And for each one, we'll pull out, say, 3 signs of his approach to teams.
3 benefits that came from it.
And crucially, 3 lessons for entrepreneurs today. Relevant for the learner.
Absolutely. Let's get started. It's quite something that even way back before the huge organizations, you can see the seeds being sown.
Yeah, that early discipline is striking.
Especially for his later team building success.
Okay, stage 1, laying the foundation. This is when he was just an assistant bookkeeper. Hewitt and Tuttle in Cleveland.
Now, you wouldn't call this team building in the usual sense.
No, not really. But it's where key habits formed. Like his obsession with Ledger A.
Ah, yes, his prized possession, recording every single transaction meticulously.
He worked insane hours too, and seemed to genuinely enjoy the office systems.
Finding delight in the order of it all. And there's that other point.
For charity donations. Right from his first small salary.
Consistently, which says a lot about his mindset early on.
So, looking ahead, how did this foundation help?
Well, those habits, they paid off massively. The meticulousness built this incredible financial accountability, essential later.
And dealing with freight agents?
That honed his negotiation skills, gave him a real gut understanding of costs. You can't learn that from just books.
So that systematic way of working
became his signature. He just scaled it up, whether it was bookkeeping or empire building.
Okay. Lessons for entrepreneurs listening. First one seems obvious. Discipline. Start with documenting everything.
Yes, it's not just paperwork. It's knowing the very core of your business.
Second, get your hands dirty. Understand the basics, the fundamentals. Don't just float above it all.
Know how things actually work. And third,
build good habits early. Saving, giving, whatever it is, they set a pattern.
Agreed. Solid principles. Okay, stage 2.
First steps in partnership. Moving into being a commission merchant. Agricultural goods.
Right. This is his first real go at, building a team from scratch outside an existing company.
Sign number 1. Deciding to form a partnership in the first place. Not going it alone.
A crucial choice. And then there's the outcome.
The money. $450,000 gross in year 1. That screams effective collaboration, doesn't it?
It certainly suggests they were doing something right together. And the third
is the fact that he went for it. Pursuing the dream after getting that initial experience.
That early success must have fueled his ambition.
And the benefits of partnering up. Pretty clear, I think. Pooling resources, skills.
Which means a faster launch, faster growth. Sharing that intense early workload, too.
Can't underestimate that. And getting that quick financial win.
Validates the whole model, right? Builds confidence in his own abilities.
So, takeaways for partnerships. Choose carefully.
Absolutely. Complementary skills, shared ambition. That's key.
Then leverage those combined strengths. Don't just coexist, collaborate actively.
You can scale much faster together if it clicks. And remember that early success.
It can be the launch pad for something much bigger down the road.
Definitely. Okay, stage 3. Things get serious now.
Consolidating power. The Cleveland conquest. Entering the oil game with buyouts.
Yeah, and here team building looks different. It's more about absorption, bringing others into his structure.
A key sign. Just the sheer speed and scale. Snapping up 22 of 26 competitors in Cleveland.
Wow.
Incredibly fast. The conquest label fits. Another sign.
Bringing former rivals into the fold. Figures like Pratt and Rogers.
Making them partners, managers within Standard Oil. That's strategically brilliant.
And he wasn't isolated. He consulted advisors like Frederick Gates.
Even when Gates was raising flags about the sheer amount of wealth being amassed, that's telling. What were the big benefits of this absorption strategy?
Well, first, it wiped out the competition in refining. Led to dominance.
Streamlined things, too, presumably. Integrating operations.
Potentially improved efficiency, yes. And maybe the biggest benefit, gaining all that expertise.
Right. The talent from the companies he bought. Management skills, industry knowledge.
Exactly. Don't just buy the assets, buy the brains.
Lessons here for today's founders. M&A is a tool for rapid growth, market control.
But it's how you integrate. Strategically bringing in talent even from rivals, is crucial.
Don't discard valuable people just because they were competitors.
And always listen to outside perspectives, especially during fast growth. Get those reality checks.
Okay, which leads us nicely into stage 4, structuring the empire, creating the Standard Oil Trust.
Yeah, as the operation got bigger and, frankly, more complicated, they needed a better structure, a formal one.
So, sign 1, establishing the trust itself, this novel legal entity for consolidation.
A way to hold it all together. Sign 2.
Elevating key people, Henry Rogers playing a big role in actually forming the trust.
Putting trusted lieutenants in charge of the architecture. And sign 3.
Investing heavily in related stuff, like pipelines. That needed whole new teams, new expertise.
Building out the infrastructure required building out the organization. And don't forget the inner circle.
Right. Still relying on personal relationships, including his wife Laura, for key advice.
That close counsel remained important.
And the benefits of this trust structure. Centralization seems key.
Absolutely. A framework to manage this sprawling, complex beast allowed for coordinated strategy.
Across companies that used to be independent.
Exactly. And it set them up for more expansion, like tackling transportation.
So, for entrepreneurs whose businesses are booming, lesson 1, formalize your structure.
You have to manage the complexity as you scale. Define roles, responsibilities.
Lesson 2, identify and empower key leaders. You can't do it all yourself.
Delegation becomes critical. Give people real authority. And lesson 3,
Keep that trusted inner circle close. People you can rely on for candid advice.
inside and outside the business, potentially. Okay, next up, a major shift.
Stage 5, the pivot to philanthropy. Organizing the giving.
Yes, applying that same systematic business mind to, well, giving away the fortune, guided by people like Gates.
A key sign was Gates pointing out the sheer avalanche of requests. They needed a system.
It was overwhelming. Haphazard giving wasn't going to cut it at that scale. Another sign.
Rockefeller himself calling for a foundation, a trust, managed properly by directors.
Taking it seriously like a business. And the third sign was his belief.
That organized philanthropy would be way more effective than just random acts of charity, more impactful.
Getting away from haphazard principles, as he put it, and notice who his key advisors were.
His son, John D. Jr. and Gates, keeping it tight initially.
Relying on that core team for this new direction.
The benefits of organizing the giving seem pretty profound.
Well, it enabled philanthropy on a scale that matched the wealth. Transformative potential.
And shifted from just reacting to needs.
To proactively investing in long-term solutions. Education, science, public health.
Basically inventing the modern private foundation model.
Pretty much, yeah. He laid that groundwork.
Lessons here, especially for successful entrepreneurs thinking about legacy.
Think systematically about deploying your resources for good, not just an afterthought.
Apply business rigor to your giving.
Exactly. Strategic planning, measuring impact, efficiency, it all applies. And
get expert advice. Don't assume business success translates directly to philanthropic expertise.
Wise counsel is crucial there too. Okay, stage 6 builds directly on this.
Building institutions. Actually setting up things like the Rockefeller Institute for Medical Research, the Rockefeller Foundation.
Right. This meant building new kinds of teams, boards, professional staff, specialists.
Sign 1. Funding and launching these specific entities. Like the Institute, putting Simon Flexner in charge.
Dedicated leadership for dedicated missions. Sign 2.
Going for a federal charter for the foundation. That meant dealing with Congress, facing public scrutiny.
A whole new ballgame, engaging with government and public opinion. And third,
the process of picking the first trustees for the foundation. Initially, very much his inner circle again.
Starting with the trusted core. And they immediately started making targeted investments.
Yeah, early grants for schools, public health initiatives, putting the structure to work.
Demonstrating the intent.
What were the advantages of creating these formal institutions?
Stability, for one. Dedicated organizations focused on long-term goals like medical breakthroughs.
And professional management for the money and programs.
Crucial for handling those kinds of resources effectively. Plus, it allowed for coordination on a huge scale.
Far beyond what one person, even him, could do alone.
Absolutely. It created vehicles for large-scale, lasting impact.
Lessons for entrepreneurs aiming for that kind of long-term impact.
If the goal is big and complex, create a dedicated structure for it. A foundation, an institute, whatever fits.
Be ready for the spotlight, though.
Definitely. Prominent organizations attract scrutiny, public, regulatory. Prepare for that.
and focus on getting some early wins.
Yes. Build legitimacy, show the value quickly. That helps build momentum.
Okay, brings us to the final stage, stage 7, sustaining legacy, the ongoing life of the foundation.
Exactly. It's not just about setting things up, it's about ensuring they last and stay effective. Constant attention to the team at all levels.
One sign here is how they wrestled with board composition, recognizing the need for outsiders.
Moving beyond the initial inner circle to get broader perspectives, more independence, that's crucial for governments.
Another sign, the focus on networks, building relationships globally, listening to grantees,
Not just handing out money, but being deeply connected to the work on the ground. And third,
fostering a culture of innovation, being able to adapt to new global challenges,
staying relevant. Plus, the deliberate effort to pass down the values.
involving younger generations, acting as a convener, bringing different groups together,
All signs of building an organization designed to endure and evolve.
and the benefits of this sustained focus. Better decisions, right?
Yes, more effective, more responsive, thanks to diverse viewpoints on the board.
And the networks help them understand needs better.
Definitely. Identify needs, share knowledge more effectively through those global connections. It also maintained reputation, staff commitment,
Kept the mission alive over decades.
and ensured the family's philanthropic legacy continued, adapting through generations.
Final lessons for entrepreneurs thinking about their own legacies. Governance matters, continuously.
Keep reviewing it. Ensure effectiveness, diverse perspectives. Don't let it get stale.
And networks are vital. Build them, nurture them. Partners, customers, stakeholders.
They are absolutely critical for long-term resilience and sensing change. And finally,
Culture. That commitment to mission, shared values.
it's the glue, essential for long-term success and the ability to adapt without losing your way.
So looking back across Rockefeller's entire journey,
From that disciplined bookkeeper to the global philanthropist.
what you see is this continuous process. Building teams, structuring organizations, evolving them.
All driven by that incredibly systematic strategic mindset, applied first to business, then to giving.
And for you, the learner, and everyone listening, if you're building anything significant.
Business, nonprofit, anything. These lessons from Rockefeller, they're surprisingly potent, aren't they?
They really hold up.
So here's something to think about. How can you apply those core principles, disciplined execution, strategic team building, to your own goals right now?
Yeah, think about the challenges you're facing. How does your team, however you define it,
Employees, partners, advisors, your network. How does that team need to change or evolve to get you where you want to go?
good question to ponder. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us.
Catch you next time.
Welcome to the deep dive. You've got a question, we find the intel, simple as that.
Exact.
Today, we're digging into John D. Rockefeller's team building playbook. This one's for the learner who asked for quick, actionable insights.
And Rockefeller's career, well, it's vast, isn't it? So focusing just on team building across the different parts makes sense.
Right. We need that laser focus. So the plan is 7 stages of his career.
7 distinct phases.
And for each one, we'll pull out, say, 3 signs of his approach to teams.
3 benefits that came from it.
And crucially, 3 lessons for entrepreneurs today. Relevant for the learner. You know.
Absolutely. Let's get started. It's quite something that even way back before the huge organizations, you can see the seeds being sown.
Yeah, that early discipline is striking.
Especially for his later team-building success.
Okay, stage 1, laying the foundation. This is when he was just an assistant bookkeeper. Hewitt and Tuttle in Cleveland.
Now, you wouldn't call this team building in the usual sense.
No, not really. But it's where key habits formed. Like his obsession with Ledger A.
Ah, yes, his prized possession, recording every single transaction meticulously.
He worked insane hours too, and seemed to genuinely enjoy the office systems.
Finding delight in the order of it all. And there's that other point.
For charity donations. Right from his first small salary.
Consistently, which says a lot about his mindset early on.
So, looking ahead, how did this foundation help?
Well, those habits, they paid off massively. The meticulousness built this incredible financial accountability, essential later.
And dealing with freight agents?
That honed his negotiation skills, gave him a real gut understanding of costs. You can't learn that from just books.
So that systematic way of working.
Became his signature. He just scaled it up, whether it was bookkeeping or empire building.